संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of Bhagavad Gita. We shall begin our study by chanting two verses from the meditation on Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhita Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshini Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. In the last class, we were studying the 15th verse. We had almost completed the study of that verse, where we got a wonderful term called titiksha, endurance. So we were studying the different aspects of this forbearance or endurance, so that it's so practical in our day-to-day life and we can make use of it properly. We have little to study. That term called forbearance or titiksha has been expanded by Lord Krishna in the 15th verse. We will look into that aspect a little and then go forward to the next verse, that is the 16th verse. In the 15th verse, Lord Krishna is telling about Yam hina vyatayante te purusham purusharshabha sama sukha sama dukkha sukha dhiram saha amritatvaya kalpate somritatvaya kalpate. O Arjuna, the noblest among men, those people who are not affected by happiness and distress, When in the earlier verse, Matra Sprashastu Kaunteya, the 14th verse, when we come into contact with the sense objects through the senses, when our mind comes in touch with them, then when we get favorable or things which we like, then we get happiness. When we don't get the thing which we like, or when we get into contact with people or the things which we hate, then we get aversion, dvesha, hatred. So now that will cause us unhappiness. So these things will be coming and going. So now whether that comes or goes, if people are not affected by that happiness and distress, and if you remain steady without getting elated or depressed by these temporary things which are coming and going, then that person whose mind is steady, who is calm, composed, that person becomes eligible for not ordinary thing but the highest freedom, eternal freedom, that is immortality, going beyond death. You will lose the fear of death. You will realize the highest. He becomes fit to realize that. So now the highest freedom, eternal freedom is the last word. But even to get something higher, even for you to study, the students, for them to get something higher, then the people who have finished their studies, they are working, even to achieve something in their life, whether it is business or whether there is some other work to do, for all that higher purpose, for achievement, you need a composed, calm mind. That's why we were dealing about that endurance, sahana, titiksha, in greater length. Now let us go and study that another aspect. As we told, what is this titiksha? A little more deeper way, we will get into that. A disturbed mind cannot contemplate or focus or concentrate on higher things, let alone Vedanta or the scriptures. Even you cannot contemplate or focus on ordinary things. Why? Then our mind is so weak, it will be worried about the happenings around. It will have so many complaints and complaints and complaints. A complaining mind will cause irritation to not only itself but to others too. If you are always complaining, it will not only irritate your own mind, you will be irritating others too. So with that sort of complaining mind, irritable mind, you cannot probe into the truth, even the ordinary truth. Then let alone the highest truth, it's very difficult. Therefore, to achieve peace, to achieve focus, to achieve some goal of our life, Lord Krishna tells, Saha. Who is that Saha? Such a mind, such a person who has a tough mind, which has got a shock absorber in itself. Now, when you are traveling on the roads, how many options are there? There are two options. One is that you have to repair all the roads, fill the potholes, or you have to lay new roads. That can be done only by the municipality or the government. Now you know everywhere it is corruption and corruption. They want to get lot of money and they will not repair the roads. Even if it is repaired, one rain will take away that road and again you will get so much of potholes and all the other problems. What is the other options? See, you yourself have to fill in the potholes or get the money, collect the money to such an extent that you can lay new roads where there are a lot of potholes or bad holes. So that is next to impossible. You have to spend so much of money. You cannot close all the potholes, or you cannot lay the road wherever you travel every day, whichever road you are traveling. Then what is the alternative? There is another method by which you can solve this problem. What is that? Fit a very good shock absorber into your vehicle. There will be good shock absorbers, the latest cars, the modern cars, there will be very good shock absorbers. So as you go through the potholes or humps, you will see that shock absorbers will absorb all the shock that is caused by the movement of the wheels in the potholes or humps or whatever. So now that is very practical, to have very good shock absorber in your vehicle. It is very practical. Now it is impractical to smoothen all the roads. Likewise, you cannot change the people around you. You cannot transform them in a day. Can you change your neighbors? Can you change your parents? Can you change your children? Can you change your spouse? Or can you change anything? That is not practical. But we can change our mind. We can change ourselves. You cannot change the taxi driver, the cab driver. You know how the cab drivers drive and behave on the road. Can you change them? Can you change so many people around you? Can you change this universe or the whole world, your country, your city or your town? Can you change their behavior and character? So it irritates us all the time when you go to the traffic signal or the robo, as you call in South Africa. You will be getting so much of irritation due to the behavior of different drivers, different people there. But you can do one thing. Now, like the vehicle, you can adopt a very good shock absorber in your mind, so that any number of people irritating you will not trouble you. Those irritations, though it may be violent, your mind will not react, but it will respond. Now you can manage the reaction. It will be under your control. Not that all the people who are happy and achieving something in their life have no problems at all in their life. They may get more problems, more unfavorable situation. They may be people who are always irritable around them. Then how are they managing? They have a trained mind whereby they have these shock absorbers. They will not react or they will not get irritated by the behavior of anybody around them. So they can manage it. So we have to learn to manage. So that is the practical way of dealing with this beautiful word called titiksha. That is perfect endurance, sahana. We are not talking about total freedom from reaction or irritation. So we are asking for a manageable reaction. And what do you mean by manageable reaction? Where the intensity is lesser and the irritation or the anger is lesser. See, now when you get irritated by anybody around you, you cannot react back because there is a saying in English, you have the freedom to wave your hand. So your freedom to wave your hand stops when another man's or woman's nose starts. The moment another person's nose obstruct your freedom of the hand, you have to stop there. If you think, yes, this is a democratic country and I have the freedom to wave my hand, if you go on waving and hitting the nose or the cheeks of somebody else, they will also use their freedom and you may get hurt. So our freedom to wave our hand will stop the moment another person nose starts. So now we can't get angry and break other people's head or nose or bones or anything, because that may lead to Newton's third law. What is Newton's third law? For every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. So action and reaction are equal and opposite, whatever you might tell Newton's third law. So it may be sometimes not equal, it may be even more greater force may come back. So that's why we have to learn to manage our mind, not to allow it to get angry. The moment we get angry, if we cannot get angry on others, what do? Then we will break the glass, we will break the windows, we will break something in the house, you will show your anger, irritation through so many things. I had seen as a young boy, there was a garage nearby. There usually in those days there was child labor. Nowadays the child labor is banned. So the child who had come for the work, a lot of children in the house, so what they do, at the age of 5 or 6, they will send them to this garage to learn the repair and other works, and that's all. They come there, no education, they will learn to work there as mechanics. So now one boy who was psychologically a disturbed boy, he was working. Now so they would come and irritate him. So this boy is so young, he is maybe 5 or 6 year old, and these boys are just like bullies, 10 or 12 year old. They would come and tease him, taunt him. Now what will he do? He cannot now get angry on them, beat them or go and react to them. Now he is helpless. What will he do? The moment he gets angry, he will start punishing himself. I had seen that reaction. He would catch hold of his own hands and he would bite his own hands. Bite his own, everywhere on his body you could see that biting marks of his own teeth. He would punish himself, he would bite himself. I have seen that with my own eyes. And these boys, the bullies, they would get some sort of sadistic joy out of it. And they would come again and again to disturb him and irritate him. The more they would irritate, the more he would bite himself. And all over his body we could see that blackened marks because of that bite. So now that's the same thing which is happening to all of us. Now outside, those boys will come, or anybody for that sake will come and irritate you. Until when? Until I stop reacting. Suppose that boy would not be psychologically disturbed, he was strong, and he would not react. The moment those bullies or those boys would come and tease him and taunt him, he would give back a smile. Then everything would be gone. They would not tease him further. With that smile, they would go away. Because he is reacting, that encourages them to come and bully him more and more and more. And he would punish himself. So they would enjoy sadistically in the way that boy would bite himself and laugh, and again other boys would come. Likewise, this nature, external, will bring you so much of problems and so much of troubles, so much of challenges to you, until you make your mind strong and you will not react to the external situation. The examination you think is only in your education. No, the real examination and the test starts once you come out of the school into your real life. It starts there every day. It is a test and examination for all of us. So until we become strong, until we make ourselves strong. Now if that boy would not react and not bite his hands or his body, and if you had, when he taunted him or teased him, he would just smile at them, no reaction, so they don't get that sadistic joy, they will go away. So if you also become strong and do not be disturbed by this external situation, you have that shock absorber within you, now that can not trouble you anymore. That will come and it will go away. The troubles, the challenges will come and it will go away. It will not trouble your life. It will not create any havoc in your life. There will be no chaos. There will be cosmos. There will be cosmos in your life. What is that cosmos? There will be lot of good law. This whole universe, that what we call cosmos, is going according to plan. Beautiful plan. Everything is, that's why it's called cosmos. When there is no cosmos, it is chaos. So who is causing the chaos? We are causing by our untrained mind. By our reactions, we are creating the whole disturbance around us. So that's why here through this verse Krishna is telling, you have to learn to manage our reactions. Where the intensity is lesser, anger will come. Everybody will get that reaction. Even when I am teased and taunt, my ego also will bring in the reaction. Because of all these teachings and the training, we can manage it without problem. Not that it doesn't come to us. No, more challenges, more problems will come to us. But because we have learnt all these things through Lord Krishna or through Swami Vivekananda or through the life of Holy Mother Sharda Devi or Ramakrishna, we are studying it and we are trained by elders, our gurus. So all that comes to our help and we can manage this situation very nicely. The intensity of the reaction will go on lessening and lessening, and also the disturbance of the mind, the duration of the disturbance will decrease. See, earlier when there would be problems, somebody will irritate, or the spouse or the father or mother or the taxi driver or the children do not obey, they create reaction. So what would be the intensity of anger and irritation and the duration? You can see it would be the whole day you are disturbed. It will also continue to the next day, the irritation and the disturbance. But when you manage, when you learn to put that shock absorber in your mind, then you will see that intensity and the duration will reduce. Then finally, as Ramakrishna puts it in what you call the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, that is there, sadhu, or the people who have trained their mind, who are going towards realizing God, they will also become angry. But how will be that anger? The anger will be just like a line drawn on the river or the river water. When you draw a line on the river water, it looks as if it exists now, but the next second it is gone. So their anger will be just like that Ramakrishna tells in the Gospel. So that is when you learn to manage, when you put that shock absorber in your heart or in your mind, and when you get the strength of mind, then you will see all this disturbance. Yes, it creates disturbance in your mind, but it will be just like the line drawn on the river. It will vanish. It will not. The duration, see, that is the timing of disturbance also will reduce and reduce as you go on. You can notice, you can watch your mind. You can observe your mind. How much was the disturbance earlier? The duration of the disturbance, you can see it is becoming lesser and lesser. That is the indication of your progress in spiritual life. Many people come and ask me, Swamiji, how do we know that we are progressing in spiritual life? There is no indication at all. We don't feel it. We don't have any visions of God. We don't have any astral travels, that and this, nothing. Not necessary at all. That person who is having visions, that person who is having astral travels, may be due to hallucination and other things. But the real test of your strength of mind is your kama, krodha, the inner enemies, their intensity will reduce. Kama, krodha, mada, matsarya, the ego, the anger, the greed, the lust, all these things will become lesser intense, less and less and less. The intensity will reduce. That is the indication of your progress. So if you want to know you are progressing forward in spiritual life, watch your mind, watch your heart, watch your every behavior. You will see that if that is lessening and you are becoming more and more unselfish, selfless, that means you are progressing forward in a very intense way. Need not have any visions. You might have not have even a single vision, extra sensory vision, or some astral travel or something that and this, nothing. It may be zero. But watch your mind. If you are becoming unselfish, your selfishness is going away. Your anger is reducing. Your irritation is reducing. Your greed, your jealousy, these are reducing. Your doubting nature, your disturbance, everything is reducing. That means you are on the right path. So, need not be afraid at all. Watch your mind and see those intensities. That is called the now titiksha. Different aspects we are learning about this endurance from different angles which will help us. Now, let us now see one of the Sanskrit verse. Uttame kshanakopasyaat madhyame ghatika dvayam adhame syat ahoratram papishte maranantakam. What is this beautiful verse? It really, I enjoyed this verse. It was very, very helpful to me. What is that? To analyze my own mind. What is that? In the Uttama Purusha, evolved person, anger or all the irritation or the disturbance will come. But kshanakopasya, it will be for a minute or a second, the anger and the irritation. Then what about the next person? So the next person is Madhyama. Madhyama means mediocre person. For the Uttama, the evolved person, anger, irritation, all these things will come because we are human being. It will come in a moment and he will recover. And it will also go away in the next second. Then the next one is Madhyama, mediocre person. For him, this disturbance or anger, other things will be Ghatika Dvayam. What is Ghatika? Hour. So Ghatika Dvayam means the mediocre person, the disturbance will last for 1 or 1.5 hours or 2 hours roughly. So it will afterwards go away for the mediocre person. What about the other person? Adhama. So if somebody scolds you as Adhama, you should be very careful. Adhama means very low evolved person is called Adhama. So now for Adhama, what is the reaction? So you can be called the Adhama if you are getting irritated and disturbed too much, then that person is called Adhama. So what will be the reaction and the duration in this Adhama? Adhame syat ahoratram. The lowest person, this disturbance is there throughout the day. And even night in the dream also, he will be kicking everybody who is nearby. The football player, while he is sleeping, nobody should sleep near him. He will be kicking the goal to the person who is nearby too. So the person whose anger, who is Adhama, lowly evolved, the anger will be there the whole day, not only whole day, even up to the next day. Now, there is one more category of person they divide, our scriptures divide. What is that? Papishte. Papishte means who has committed lot of sins. The rank hypocrite or who has ranking in that committing sins is called Papishte. What will be his reaction? Papishte maranantakam. In the lowest of the lowest, the anger, the disturbance continues. How long? Up to the death. Even some people after death too, it will continue. And who are they? You can say those are the ghosts. They will become ghosts and devils, and still they will be aspiring to take revenge and get angry even as ghosts. They are papishtaha. So now watch yourself where you are. How is the disturbance? Is it for just one day, or is it for the whole life? Am I being irritated and disturbed for my whole life? Am I just for 1 hour or 2 hours I am getting disturbed? Am I getting disturbed by all these reactions for just a second, a minute or something, and after that I can recover? That is the indication, milestone. Now while you are traveling from Durban to Johannesburg or Cape Town, suppose in a vehicle, then you see the milestones. There will be there written, oh, the next town, Pietermaritzburg, is 100 kilometers, 120 kilometers, or Johannesburg is 200 kilometers. As you go on and on and on, the distance reduces, the board, signboard. So like that, this is the milestone for you. You can analyze yourself. That is the way you can test your sahana, titiksha, endurance. So it is so beautiful, you see, it's so practical, the teachings of Lord Krishna. It's so helpful to us. So whether you are angry with your husband or wife, the wife or the children are now disobedient to you, they are not obeying you. So you go on testing where you are. You show the anger, whatever you had with your spouse or with your children, in the office to your subordinates. Whatever has happened in the office, you will come and put that on the family. So it goes on, it is a vicious cycle. So it will disturb you, your surrounding everywhere, and it will create a hell around you wherever you go. Now, if you control your mind, if you manage all these things, then you can create heaven around you. So it is in your own hand. Once one person wanted to irritate Buddha, disturb Buddha in argument, you know, the great Lord Buddha. Now he came, he held something in his hand like this, in his fist. And all the people were there, hundreds and thousands of people hearing the beautiful words of Lord Buddha. He held his fist like this and told, "O Lord Buddha, they tell that you are a great realized soul. I have a question for you. If you answer that question correctly, then I will lose and I will become your disciple. Otherwise, you will lose. You have to accept your loss with all around all these people now. Thousands of people are watching you." "Yes, ask the question. I'll try to answer it." I told, "In my hand, there is a bird. Now you should tell me whether it is living or dead." Now, if Buddha tells it is living, he will press the fist and kill that small bird in his hand, and he will show, "See, it is dead. You told a lie." There's only two out there. If Buddha tells it is dead, then he will release that bird, it will fly, and they'll say you are false. The bird is alive. Now what should Buddha answer? Catch-22 situation. Whatever he answers, he will make it wrong. Now, Buddha could read his mind, he could understand, because he was a great realized soul. Lord Buddha smiled at him and told, whether that bird is alive or dead is in your own hand. If you release it, it is alive. If you constrict it, it is dead. So whether that bird is alive or dead is in your own hand. So likewise, whether you create hell or heaven, whether you train your mind and get peace of mind, have this titiksha and enjoy your life every bit, every second, is in your own hand. You can create. You are the maker of your destiny. You are the maker of heaven. Here, don't wait to go to heaven somewhere there after death. Can create heaven now, here. I give to many people, I have told in my earlier talks too, I have told the board on the garage in Cape Town, one of the garage or the petrol bunk. They used to write beautiful messages there. Somebody took the photograph and put it on the YouTube or some social media. It traveled, it became viral and went around all the world. It went to India. From India, when I came to South Africa, somebody sent that message to me when I was in South Africa. And what is that message written in that Cape Town garage or the petrol bunk? Every day they used to write beautiful message on the board. The message was, see, in Christianity when people die, they bury them, then put one tomb or something on that. What will be written? R.I.P. What is the expansion of R.I.P.? Rest in peace, isn't it? So Under that, rest in peace, they had written, why do you want to rest in peace after death? Why can't you live in peace? Why do you want to rest in peace after death? Why can't you live in peace now with your neighbors, with everybody, with your family, with your subordinates, with your colleagues? Why can't you live in peace? You create hell with everybody. Doubting, creating problem, fighting. You are creating hell, and now you will do all that havan, homa, puja, prayers, charity to get heaven after death. What is the use? Why can't you live in peace now with everybody? That's what Lord Krishna is teaching us, sahana. So practical, so beautiful. So now, I told you that shloka, so that in the lowest of the lowest, the anger continues, how long? Up to the death. Therefore, titiksha does not mean total freedom. You are not like a stone, that no reaction at all. The stone also doesn't get angry. Or so many other things, when you irritate or beat it, it will not react. But after all, it is a non-living thing. You are a sentient thing, you are a living person. You will have reaction. But how will you manage it? That does the whole thing. Therefore, titiksha does not mean total freedom from reaction or total freedom from any other challenges outside, difficulties, everything will come. Titiksha means the capacity to manage one's own emotions. And such a mind can quietly, and with that strong mind, you can focus or you become fit for getting higher knowledge. Without that, even though God wants to pour and give you knowledge, all the people want to give you the best of the thing, you are not in a position to receive it. Why? Your mind is constantly irritated and disturbed. With that mind, how can you receive higher knowledge? Even if it falls on you, what will happen? If even for 1,000 years water falls, or you may keep that hard stone under the Niagara Falls for 1,000 years, it will not make any impact. Likewise, if we have that disturbed mind, irritable mind, you may study Vedanta, you may study everything, the PhDs or whatever, it will not make any impact in your life. You are the same old, irritable, disturbed person. So that's why Krishna is telling Arjuna, and through Arjuna to all of us, to develop this and watch yourself, analyze, get this quality. Therefore, Sahanam Sarvadkhanam Kalpate alone is qualified. Now, let me tell you, you know about the chain. You have seen the chain. They tie the elephant or even many strong thing to pull the tree or something, they put the chain, iron chain. You know, one link after one link after one link. So it will be so strong. The chain will be so strong. Now, if somebody asks you, what is the strength of the chain? What will you answer? You know that, you should know that the strength of the chain is in its weakest link. The strength of the chain is in its weakest link. How? See, whichever strong link are there in the chain, the more you put pressure and pull it, it will not break. Where will it break? Where the link is weak. Likewise, if you have a strong mind managing all these disturbances, then that will not trouble you. So the weak mind, which will get irritated, that breaks down, gets into stress, depression, lose the balance. So that's why learn to get the strength of mind. That is what Krishna is telling. He alone is fit for. So if you go on practicing it, getting that higher strength of the mind, you will be fit to receive the highest knowledge, that is Atma Gnana, that is total freedom, eternal freedom. That's the, we will stop the thing of studying this verse for now. But we will go to the next verse, because in the next verse, the same thing will continue in still higher different aspect. Let us now chant the 16th verse. Let us go to the 16th verse. Please chant this verse after me. Nasato vidyate bhavo, nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, na bhavo vidyate sataha. Ubhayorapi drishtvontaha, ubhayorapi drishtvontaha, tvanayostatvadarshibhihi, tvanayostatvadarshibhihi. This is the 16th verse in the second chapter. Lord Krishna is continuing to teach Arjuna. He's telling now this is in the poetical order. It's in the meter, the poetry. That's why the verse. Now if you break down into the form of the prose, how does it become to get the meaning? Vidyate na bhavaha. What is the meaning? There is no existence, asataha, for the unreal. See, you know that some things are unreal. So now Lord Krishna is telling there is no existence of the unreal. Vidyate na bhavaha asataha. Then he tells vidyate na abhavaha. There is no non-existence. For what? Sataha. For the real. See, he could have directly told the real exists and the unreal does not exist. But he is giving very peculiar meaning. Lord Krishna is explaining this in a peculiar way. What is that? Negatives, in a negative way. There is no existence of the unreal. And he is telling there is no non-existence of the real. It will confuse you, isn't it? So if you all give everything plain way, you don't enjoy it. You make it a little complicated and give, then you will start scratching your brains. Otherwise you don't go to think at all. So sometimes Krishna has to play all these tricks and give you in a very terse way the verses. Then you will start thinking, what is he telling? What is Lord Krishna telling? See, he is telling there is no existence for the unreal. There is no non-existence for the real. Antaha, the truth. Antaha means the end. So see, Satyam eva jayate is the wonderful statement of our scriptures. What is that? Truth alone prevails. In the end, truth alone will win. Jayaha. Satyam eva jayate. Nanritam. Satya means truth. Eva, only. Jayate will be victorious in the end. Na anritam. Untruth can never win. That is a statement, beautiful statement, which will be always quoted. And even in the Parliament of India, that was there. Satyam eva jayate. Truth alone prevails, will win in the end. So here antaha means end. So what is that end? That is truth. Truth will always end in victory, victorious. So truth, antaha, the truth. Ubhayoha api anyaha. Of both these through, so whether it is real or unreal, tu drashtaha is indeed known. By whom? Tattvadarshibihi. By the seers of reality. People who have wisdom, people who have little brains, who will use their brains, men of wisdom, men of reality who have controlled their mind, they are not reacting to the situation, who have got this titiksha, they are called Tattvadarshibihi, seers of reality. Now, they will know about this truth, that Sat is real and Asat, unreal thing, will never exist. So they have this knowledge. There is no existence for the unreal, there is no non-existence for the real. The truth of both these, real and the unreal, that is indeed known by the seers of reality, is this verse. So it is made a little tough. You could have told directly. Now Krishna is putting in a different way. See, we can do pranayama like this. Pranayama is done like this in yoga. But some people teach pranayama to do like this. Put your hand like this and this. Same thing, but make it a little tough. Then they will think, see, if you keep all the classes and other things free of cost, they do not know the value. We have seen, we used to, in the medical camp and the outreach there in India, used to go to the village and give the medicines free of cost. They start doubting that medicine. Oh, they give free of cost. Maybe it is not valuable, it is not good medicine. They would not take that medicine, they would throw it away. Then, understanding their psyche, we started charging them 50 cents or 25 cents or 1 rupee or something. Then when they give the money, then that medicine may be some useful. They would start taking that. So just to make them take the medicine, we had to charge them a little. Otherwise, if we give free of cost, they would not know the value. They would throw it away. And they would keep all that medicine in their pots, and next time they will bring that medicine. Last time you had given, that was 1 year back. So can I take that medicine now? Then we used to come to know that was the situation of these uneducated people at that time. So likewise, now Krishna knows our psyche. So if you give that directly, they will think, oh, there is no value in it. Make it a little difficult, then you will start thinking. Now, Krishna has mentioned here in this verse that God or truth or Atman or Parabrahman is eternal, Nityaha, always existing. Now, the unreal things which you see in this world do not exist. Now, this is a very terse verse. See, rhyming words. Terse verse. Very technical verse. One of the deepest verses of Bhagavad Gita. In this, Lord Krishna says, simply if you have to tell in a straight way, Atmaha Satyaha, truth. Anatmaha Mithyaha. All this world you see, fleeting world, is mithya, unreal. That's all he had to tell, but he has given it in a different way, so let us go and understand. So to understand that, we should have some technical knowledge in Sanskrit and also of our scriptures. Now, God, or what the scientists call as truth, or somebody calls it law of karma, whatever you may call, give it any name you like. So that here it is called as Atman, has independent existence. Earlier we used to be taught still remember in our primary school and in the high school what we studied, that was some 30-40 years back, how to differentiate between the stars and the planets. When you look into the sky, how to differentiate, they used to teach us. Stars twinkle, but the planets do not twinkle. So what do you take out of it? So the stars are self-luminous. They give light. But planets don't have luminosity. That is borrowed light. That's why they don't twinkle. Moon do not twinkle. Planets do not twinkle. So when you look at the sky, if that is twinkling, that is luminous thing. It is giving light. Now the light rays has to reach from so many, if the distance is too much, then you will tell what you call light year. You measure it in light year. You can't do it in 1,000 kilometers or million or billion kilometers. It is in light years. So from there the light to reach us, it will take so much of time. That's why when the light is coming at different speed and after some time, that's why it twinkles. But the planet, it is absorbed and reflected light. That's why it doesn't twinkle. But our Atman, the Lord who is within us, or our true nature, is self-luminous. It has independent existence. It doesn't need borrowed existence. But all these what you see outside is borrowed existence. It is not independent. They are dependent upon. That's why it is called unreal. But God or truth or that is eternal is self-luminous, independent. It doesn't need any help of other things. So now, see, these are all the concepts which you have to understand. then further things will be easy. The God or the truth, Atman, has independent existence. Anatman, opposite to that, unreal, has borrowed existence. Okay, let us try to understand this verse and then we will go to the word to word meaning. Every object has got its own intrinsic nature, its own true nature, which we call Swarupa. Now this harmonium has its own nature, the wood has its own nature, the mic with that steel has its own nature, the plastic, it has its intrinsic nature. Every object has its unique intrinsic nature. Whichever object you see in this world. Now, that nature, is it borrowed from outside? Then that is called borrowed nature. What shall we now call it here? What is the technical name for that? Which we call as incidental nature. Two words. One is intrinsic nature and the other one is incidental nature. In Sanskrit, it is called Swabhavika, natural, dharma, its nature. Then another one is Agantuka dharma. Swabhavika dharma means one's own nature. Agantuka dharma is one that is borrowed. Incidental nature and intrinsic nature. So whatever is intrinsic nature will be there all the time. That will not change. Intrinsic nature. Whereas whatever is incidental or borrowed will be only temporary. So now you can remember only these two things. Intrinsic nature, say intrinsic means which is natural, it doesn't change. Then incidental means incidentally you got some nature, some other things, duties, all the other things. So that is temporary, it will be there for some time and it will go away after some time. So if you know this difference, that is enough for us to understand this verse further. Whatever is incidental, that is temporary. So intrinsic nature is permanent. Incidental nature is temporary. Let us take up one example. I think people who have read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, that example will be clear. What is that beautiful example? Ramakrishna tells the housewife will keep a vessel on the oven, and in that oven she puts water, and she will cut different varieties of vegetables and put it into that water. As the fire goes on heating, then what happens? Due to convection or something, the water will be going up and down. It gets heated, the heated water goes up and cool water comes down, so that whole thing will be rotating. Then the vegetables there also will be going up and down. Then the carrot will start telling, I am great, see my strength is so great, it will come up, it will shout, and after some time it will go down. Then now another vegetable, beans, will come up, it will tell, I am great, see I am coming up, again it will go down. Like that all the vegetables, when it's getting the heat from below, the water will take it up, then it will think I am great, and will be going up and down, the vegetable, giving this example. Likewise, here also, we feel egoistically that I have achieved so much, I have got so much money, I have got so much qualification, and we go on getting that pride and ahankara, the ego will be bloating with ego, or all this what you see, which Krishna told just now, agama apainaha, when you get something good, you get elated, excited, come up like that egoistic way. Then when you get something, very difficult thing, you will get puncture, flat, and you will go down again, depression. So up and down, then you will tell, I am great, then you go down, up. So he gives that beautiful example. But in reality, nobody is great. It is the energy of the Lord which is making us great. We forget that. So just like Ramakrishna gives the example, the fire, the heat of the fire is heating that vessel, and that is heating the water, and because of that heat in the water, the vegetables are coming up. So the vegetable doesn't know that it is the fire which is giving the heat to us, by which it is getting great and going up. Likewise, we too think that we have lot of energy. I am greater than him. We compare and we go on competing with each other, judging each other. I am great, bloating my ego. We get into so many problems, go up and down and up and down. But we do not know all of us are getting that energy by that real thing that is called, whatever you may call, the intelligence, the truth, or the Lord, or Atman, or Parabrahman, which is already within that. We forget that. So that beautiful example is given by Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel. Now, taking that example, we will understand this concept. What is that concept? Which is intrinsic nature, which is incidental nature. We will take up this example. Suppose we have kept a vessel with the water, and we want to make that water hot. There is fire. Now, on that we have kept the vessel. Within the vessel there is water. And you imagine you light up that fire. Now gradually the vessel becomes hot. And because of the contact with the vessel, water gets hot. Suppose within the water, you have put something like vegetable or dal or whatever you have, you have the experience of cooking. So let us take vegetable. Now those vegetable also will become hot. Now the vegetable is hot. Is it because of its own nature? No. Because it is in contact with the water, now it has become hot. Now, is the water hot because of itself? No. Is it intrinsic? No. Because the water has become hot because the vessel is hot. Now, is the vessel having that heat intrinsically? No. The vessel has become hot because the fire is hot. Now comes the question, is the fire hot because of the vessel? No. For any other reason? No. Then what is it? Fire is intrinsic in nature. The hotness or the heat of the fire is intrinsic in nature. So, vegetable enjoys the heat as an incidental property borrowed from water. Water enjoys the heat as incidental property because it is borrowed from vessel. Vessel enjoys the heat as incidental property borrowed from fire. But fire enjoys heat as intrinsic property, and it is its very nature. So therefore, heat in fire is intrinsic, whereas heat in the vessel is incidental. Heat in water is incidental. Heat in the vegetable is incidental. What about your coffee? Because in the cold you drink coffee or tea. So let us take a help of the coffee. If coffee, the heat was intrinsic, then you would not need flask at all. Isn't it? There would be no concept of cold coffee at all. Always the coffee will be hot. Hot in the sense not chilly hot. Spicy hot, warm. So coffee would be always with so much of heat, but it gets cold, so you have to put it into the flask, you have to heat it again. So it is not intrinsic. It becomes cold, loses heat. Similarly, everything. So it is, that is what in the first 14th verse, what did Krishna tell? Agama and apayi. It comes and goes. This nature comes and goes. Likewise, the difficulties, the happiness, when you come into touch with these sense objects, the external world and the internal things, it comes and it goes. So it is not intrinsic, it is incidental, contextual. In contact, it comes and it goes. See how nice to understand all these things. Anytime you make coffee, it is hot. No cold coffee would be possible at all. From this, we got some corollary. Whatever is incidental is borrowed, is subject to loss also, subject to destruction, nashaha. That's why Krishna told, agamasyat apayinaha. That is why vegetable is hot as long it is in contact with the hot water. And you take out of the water, it becomes cold, loses its heat. Similarly, water is hot as long as it is in contact with the vessel. If you remove the water out, it has lost it. Because heat there is incidental. Remove the vessel from the stove or the oven, the vessel becomes cold. Remove the fire from there to another place, will it get cold? No. Whether you take that fire to Siberia, you know where is Siberia? In Russia. What is Siberia? Have you heard of cold desert anywhere? Siberia is cold desert. We only know about hot desert. But Siberia in Russia is cold desert. So it will be minus 60 and other temperature will be there in the winter, minus 60, minus 50, minus 40. So now there too the fire will be hot. Will the fire be cold in Siberia? Will it lose its nature if it goes to Siberia? No. It will be hot. So that is intrinsic. Likewise, your true nature, that is Atman, will be always full of bliss, infinite bliss, whether it is taken to any place. It will be full of existence, that is, there is no destruction wherever you take it, whichever condition you are. Your true nature will be always conscious with full of knowledge, wherever or whatever you are. That is your true nature. That is intrinsic, that is your true nature. All these things which you are experiencing in the form of heat and cold, loss and profit, difficulties and happiness, everything is borrowed, temporary. See how nice to understand. Intellectually you are getting so much of joy. When you hear about this, and intellectual conviction is itself bringing so much of peace to your mind. Then if you realize this truth, what would be the intensity of the joy you will get? What will be the intensity of peace you will get if you realize this truth, which is that to your true nature, your birthright. Balagangadhara Tilak, one of the greatest freedom fighters in India, while he was going through this freedom fight, you know what was the call he told or given to the people? Freedom is our birthright and we shall have it. When he was fighting against the British, the main call he gave was, the clarion call was, freedom is my birthright, freedom is our birthright and we shall have it. This is from the ordinary political freedom. See that from the higher value here. Eternal freedom is your birthright. That is your true nature. You should be free eternally, nothing should disturb you. That is your true nature. Getting into these problems, all this world, you are being disturbed. So learn to go back to the source. Learn to go back to your true nature. That is what Krishna is telling. Now, with beautiful example, so we got this wonderful thing where the fire is kept in minus degree, minus 60, minus 80 in winter. Fire will be always hot. It will be hot. Why does not the fire lose its heat? Because heat is intrinsic nature of the fire. Through all these stories, what is the law that we have learned? What is incidental property is subject to arrival and departure. Agamaha apayanaha. What is intrinsic property is not subject to arrival and departure. So, all these difficulties, problems and other things are temporary, incidental in your life. It will come and it will go. It is temporary. Do not worry, Arjuna. Do not get disturbed, Arjuna. Tam titikshasva, bear it, forbear it. That is what Lord Krishna is telling. Why? Because your intrinsic nature is infinite joy, bliss. Your intrinsic true nature is infinite peace, infinite happiness. You cannot lose it. You have forgotten it, that's all. See, so beautiful how we are coming now with this example. So, depart and arrival is only for incidental nature. Whatever is intrinsic will not come and go. Now, we will change the scenario. Let us take anything that is perishable in the world. Any people, anything, impermanent thing in this world. Impermanent thing enjoys existence for some time. What is impermanent thing? Whichever exists for a limited period of time, it is called impermanent. This body of ours and the mind, the ego and the world outside, they are impermanent because between the date of birth and the date of death, it exists. So on the date, your date of birth, they go and wish. When somebody comes and asks me our wishes, which is your birth date, I tell, no, I don't have any birth, I don't have death. Because my true nature is Atman, God. How can I have a birth and how can I have a, when they come to cut the cake or sing happy birthday, tell no, you should not. Because I am beyond birth, that is your nature too. We have to know that nature. No birthday for me. Why? Because I don't have birth and death. So see, when you manufacture some medicine or if you take some food material, what will be there? Date of manufacture and date of expiry. It will be put on that. You will be watching it before you eat it or take the medicine, you will be watching. So like that we too have date of birth and date of death. When will be that date of death put on the tomb, they will write. I'll just tell a small story and end with giving some conclusion. What is that? There was one person, by mistake, it was too late, he was going, the path was going through the graveyard or the cremation ground. So in the other Islam and Christianity and some portion of Hindus, they put this tomb and put that date of birth, RIP, all those things, name, everything they will put there. Date of birth and date of death. So when this person was moving through that road, he saw in the graveyard or that thing where the burial ground, somebody was sitting and chiseling on the tomb. Then he went near him. Why are you working now? This is dead of the night. By mistake I am going because I was delayed. My vehicle got some problem, so I am walking. Now I came here at about 12 or so, night 12 o'clock. But you can come and work tomorrow. What is so much of urgency that you are chiseling and working? I know you are a sculptor, but why should you chisel this thing now? Can't you come tomorrow? No, this is a very urgent matter. What is that? I'm chiseling the correct date of death and date of birth. Why? See, they have put my date of death, wrong date here, so I was chiseling, making it correct. It was the ghost of that person. Then that fellow fell unconscious there. So it was trying to set its date of death and date of birth correct. So this was the story we used to hear. So we have that date of birth and date of death. It will be put on our grave. So where is your permanency? You didn't exist before your date of birth. You will not exist after the date of death. So in between is called your life. That is all. So you think that is permanent and we will put the jhanda, the flag, and we will hoist, this is my house, this is my property, this is my money, and how much of fight and how much of thing is going on, you see. So now that's why go to the thing permanent. Now I will conclude and stop this thing to know that. So these are all borrowed, incidental. So go for the intrinsic. So otherwise they are about to come and go back. So between this manufacturing date and expiry date, before and after, it does not enjoy existence at all. All impermanent things enjoy existence for some time, but not before or later. If that is true, now let us apply that law. All these impermanent things enjoy existence. It is an incidental property or intrinsic property. What is that? If it is an intrinsic property, you would have enjoyed existence all the time, just as the fire enjoys the heat all the time. The very fact that impermanent things enjoy existence only for a short time indicates that it is not intrinsic property. Then what is that? It is incidental property, borrowed. Thus the important conclusion is all impermanent things do not have existence as their nature. So where has all this joy come from? Where has all these, this thing, you enjoy so many things in the form of food and pleasure and everything. Where has that come from? It is borrowed, it is incidental because it is temporary. Where did they borrow it from? Where did they borrow it from? If it is incidental, if it is not their own property, where did they borrow it from? That should be something permanent. What is that? That is called God. Then why are you going for these borrowed joys? Why can't you go to the source of the joy? Again, with that wonderful story of Sri Ramakrishna, I will end. What is that? Once, Akbar one of the Mughal king was there. And one fakir, he wanted to take some money. He wanted to get to build his ashram or something. He came to Akbar to ask for money to build his ashram. Now that fakir saw that Akbar was doing his namaz or whatever prayers to the god, and he waited outside. While waiting outside, he was hearing Akbar praying to the Lord. Oh Lord, give me more kingdom, more wealth, more enjoyment, more property, give me that, give me this. He was praying to the Lord. Then in between the prayer, namaz was not complete. This fakir was getting up and going out. Akbar saw that. Oh, this great man, saint has come and is going away without taking anything. He stopped him. Please wait, I will finish my namaz and come. So he told, okay, my prayer is over. He came. Fakirji, why are you going away? Saint, why did you go away without taking anything from me? Then the fakir told, I came to beg from you, Akbar. I thought you are the emperor of this country. But I saw you were a beggar. You are begging from the emperor of this world, the Lord. So why should I beg from a beggar? I will beg from the emperor of this universe. I will go beg from the Lord. Why should I beg from a beggar? Master tells this story in the gospel. Likewise, you are getting all these things, joys and other problem, it is incidental property. Whatever it is there in this world you are enjoying is temporary. Where did they get that source from? The energy and all that thing? From the original source which is intrinsic, that is Lord. And do you know that? That is your true nature. And you are searching, keeping that within you, you are searching that somewhere outside. That is what Lord Krishna is pointing us. Let us now focus internally and get everything, and we will not be disturbed by these things. When you don't want anything from this outside world, then there will be no question of disturbance. That is the shock absorber. So now we will end our talk here. We will continue further the same thing in the next class. Some more way how we can see what is real, what is unreal. See, otherwise if you just this is unreal and real, it is confusing. What is this happening? Now when you connect that to your life, so much of joy. When you now focus back into your own joy, your own true intrinsic nature, you will go to the source of the joy, and that is meditation. That is what you are trying to get through meditation. You are turning everything inward and getting that intrinsic joy which is already within you. Freedom is your birthright. Try to have it. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. We will end this with the verse of the meditation of Bhagavad Gita. Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bhagum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.